see, like, this ended up getting them in trouble because we were able to basically see, okay, this person or their team is trying to get around the flank us. Without that, we probably all would have been caught off guard, and we might very well have all died. As it stands, I don't believe anyone died. No, it doesn't look like anyone else on either side died. But the point being that, again, it just really helps with map limits. So maybe you don't need everyone buying as many boards as I did, but since most of the time people won't buy boards, they're focused on the items that they want. If you are paying attention and you are maybe seeing them trying to, I don't know, like we're in this stage of the game where if you're trying to push down one lane or the other, it's really good to just get a couple of wards, at the very least get two, and put one on either side of that center thing in there. And this is something actually I've done this a couple times, so you might have noticed, but I don't know. I know I haven't gone over it. Was this is Mordekaiser specific stuff, but one thing that I like to do with Mordekaiser is I like to, anytime I have a pet, I immediately throw it at the tower. Since your pet doesn't last very long, but it does a pretty good amount of damage, you'll actually find that oftentimes they don't always kill towers really well, but the tower one can focus them really well, and two, it do extra damage to the tower, and since it only lasts a little while anyway, pretty much anytime you have a pet, just throw it on the tower, just do the control right click, or alt right click, I don't remember which it is, I think it's control right click on the tower, and just let the pet tank the tower for your creeping and for all that. But that was pretty much the last big thing, was just make sure that you have awareness. You can see again, I'm throwing down wards on each side just because they last a while, they're cheap, and I want to know any of these things. So kind of a recap of what we're doing, and this should finish out the video actually, is items. So items from Mordekaiser, Force of Nature, Mercury Treads, Trinity Force, and then I'm kind of leaning towards Sunfire Cape and 2 Bloodthirsters, but then again it's all situational at that point as to what I see our team either lacking or what I myself need. Oh, actually one last thing I will kind of bring up with this Mordekaiser. So I've kind of been toying around, and I know a lot of other people probably have too if you play Mordekaiser, with the idea of using Rylai's Scepter or using Frozen Mallet to get your slow. I have Trinity Force on me, so I get the slow from that. It does give you the phage-like effect, so you have a chance to slow. Between the two, I've used them both, and I've used them both with success. And I've actually seen articles or people, forum posts, whatever, talking about the advantages and disadvantages of both. And so here's my thoughts on it. The advantage of Frozen Mallet is I believe that it gives you more damage, which makes your Mace of Spades hit Mace of Spades hit harder, and it also I think gives you more health, and actually it gives you a better slow. So you actually get I don't remember how much the slow is. I don't remember the stats on individual weapons a lot of times, but it gives you a good slow whenever you hit with your weapon. Rylai's Scepter gives you a slow anytime you use your ability, but it's more for abilities that are single target versus ones that are multi-target. And so what it does do for you is get your ultimate 6 seconds it makes sure you slow everyone around you a little bit, and it also makes sure Cycle of Destruction. So I think it kind of comes down to personal preference. I don't really have one, and I've seen the use for both. I think that what I would probably base it on is do they appear to be having a lot of armor, or maybe are they failing magic resist? That might be the difference, or it really just might be more comfortable with. But onto the rest of my build. So after my 3 core items that I've got, which is the Force of Nature, the Mercury Treads, and the Trinity Force, I will usually probably go ahead and pick up Sunfire Cape and probably 2 Bloodthirsters. Again, just making the Mace of Spades hit. And also give them some light regen. I've had a couple of times where my Mace of Spades was hitting for about 600 or 700, and that was non-crit or anything. And I can't remember how much life steal you end up with, but it's it's something pretty hefty, so you can actually steal quite a bit, and then again the damage is nice. And with Mordekaiser being a high rate champion, you can't really rely purely on AP because one, his abilities scale bad with AP, and two, you would basically be ignoring Mace of Spades at that point because it doesn't scale at all with AP. So I like to get a nice little bit of a balance and make him somewhat tanky, somewhat focused, and all that. The next parts of the game, making sure that you have good team communication. Always call missings whenever you see them, or if you notice that a bunch of people are missing, just say, hey, you know, there's a lot of people just not there, and then make sure you call when those people return, because that way the other people kind of will know to not be on guard. But in the same breath, you also need to make sure that when you're laning, that you are paying attention to the minimap, because it is your biggest friend in this game. If you don't see the enemy champions' faces, then you have no idea where they're at. But you can basically expand your awareness with things like wards and clarity, I think it's clairvoyance. I always get those two mixed up. Whichever one that actually lets you reveal the area of the map is something that I like to have, especially if I'm a tank. I didn't get it as Mordekaiser because I usually run with Ghost and Ignite. Ignite being because your ult does a decent amount of damage, but it's just kind of nice that if you're going to Ignite them, throw on Ignite, or if you're going to ult them, throw on Ignite and your ult, and you'll actually find you get quite a bit of kills that way. And then Ghost is probably my favorite skill in the game. It can be very aggressive, or it can be used for defensive purposes. And this is kind of why I favorite over Exhaust, is because Exhaust will let you catch up to people, and I guess in theory maybe run away, but Ghost you definitely run away, plus you ignore the damage, and you get a huge run speed increase to run people down, and it lasts longer. And getting the improved Ghost makes it even better, of course. And then the Ignite, like I said, just synergizes really well with your ult. You throw your ultimate up and you ignite, and then a lot of times you'll just be like, oh wow, I just got the kill. The last part, I guess, on his ultimate, since I didn't go over that at all, really his ultimate deals damage based on the units that you put it on their health, and it heals you the damage that it does, and it scales with AP, sort of. It's one of those, another ability it is that it gets another 0.1% increase in damage from the 50 AP you have. So it's not, its scaling is almost not worth mentioning. But if you kill someone who is under the effects of your ultimate, you do get them as a pet, and they get increased health. They get the weapons that they had, which means late game. And this is where it kind of ends up getting funny. So if you're about to die, you're better off ulting a tank because it's based on their max health, so you'll get more health from it. But if you're doing fine and you're not about to die, you're better off ulting one of their DPS, preferably a melee DPS, because since you're going to get their items, you'll see, like, if you get a Master Yi or a Warwick in your ult, you're actually going to burn towers down, or you could put them on the enemy champions and cut the enemy champions in half too, so it always ends up being nice. There's just a few more minutes left in this game, 5 or so left, and there's really not much else that I'm going to do. So for the last part of this video, just kind of like to say, if you do enjoy this format a little bit better, I can start going over other things, not just what I want to do in trial runs. So as far as content goes, subsequent videos would definitely be better. If you are enjoying these videos, please subscribe and let people know about this channel, because it makes it a lot easier for me if I know what people are looking for. And then if you want, I'm still wanting to do some StarCraft videos, because like I said, that's kind of why this whole channel was started, was with StarCraft. But I might start favoring the Legend videos because it's again long, and I don't know if there's any super in-depth pieces of this game, which there might be once Riot puts in replays, which I don't know any time frame on that. So if someone knows, please let me know. If there's, I'm not bad with most champions, but Mordekaiser, I definitely have those who I'm strongest with. And so if you want a specific video for another champion, you can. but no guarantees that I'll do very well with them, and you might actually be a little bit better off getting specific champions, something like League Craft or something to that effect. But I'm going to keep trying to go over general ideas of stuff that I see people doing. In most cases, it's stuff that I also did, but I'm trying to avoid doing. Although you did see in the beginning of this one, I made a couple of mistakes in the game, and I have, you know, that's just kind of how it goes. As I said before, you make mistakes, you live, and you learn, which, once again, why I wish Riot would put in replays, because it'd be so nice to be able to review all my games without having to record every single one, which right now I record probably about 70% of my games, especially since I'm just hoping for another good one to throw, or for another good one to put up on the channel. I think the next one I'm going to see if I can get a game where I am down and kind of show how the dynamic for the game changes if you're in a playing position. I've noticed a lot of people tend to just, they basically just say fuck it and stop playing, or they want to surrender immediately and roll the other team. And what you'll find is that a lot of times you really can, even from a down position, just the game changes. You end up having to play more defensively, and you're going to need to try to track the game because if you beat the other team, the advantage that they get on you is level. You also get the item advantage. So if you're playing a behind position, you need to basically draw the game to catch up in the position as far as like items and stuff like that goes. So I'll see if I can find a good game where I was from behind and still ended up. And I don't know if there's anything else. Once I see, then definitely just let me know. And I'll just keep trying to put up content that everyone has liked to see, so if not, then I'm going to assume that what I'm doing is okay or acceptable, and hopefully I'm heading in at least the right direction. But I will just leave you with that and enjoy the last couple or so of the game. I'm pretty sure they surrendered. And hopefully you enjoy, this is how I play Mordekaiser and how I play the game in general.
Your team has destroyed the turret. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
So be it.
Your team has destroyed the turret. An ally has been slain. Victory!